Hey everyone, and Happy New Year to you all. I'm Evan Lukadakis, and welcome to our 2018 highlight episode. We've had a lot happen over the past year, and I want to dedicate this episode to bragging about our major accomplishments, advocating for your business in the home building industry. All right, to get things started, let's get into a couple of our biggest wins at the national level. So this past year's lumber prices were brutal, which skyrocketed the cost of a new single-family home by $9,000. And for multifamily units, it reached $3,000. So how did we respond to this? We put intense focus on the Trump administration to raise awareness that home building and housing affordability is suffering because of this issue. We even met with the Secretary of Commerce, Wilbur Ross, to discuss other factors that may be manipulating the price of lumber. We also had 171 members of Congress sign a letter requesting that the administration renegotiate the softwood lumber agreement. And after a seemingly never-ending write-up, the good news is lumber prices are back down to where they were at the beginning of 2017. Okay, next up on national is a key victory that happened just in time for the new year. Back on the campaign trail, President Trump made a promise to us that he would work to redefine a far-reaching Obama-era federal waterways regulation that went so far as to regulate man-made ditches and isolated ponds on private property. The new rule is bringing certainty and clarity to which waters fall under federal oversight. This proposal should help accelerate the permitting process so home builders don't have to spend tens of thousands of dollars on engineering and legal professionals to determine whether a project on their property needs a federal permit or not. All right, moving on to state. Now, I'm not going to spend much time discussing our run in 2018's regular session because, quite frankly, I've spent most of the year talking about SB 462 and mandatory inclusionary zoning, but I have to point out that we helped bring a pro-property rights piece of legislation to the governor's desk. But ultimately, the governor vetoed the bill because there was tremendous political pressure on him to do so. But in the bigger picture, we won because we sparked a conversation in the state that using incentives to build affordable housing, not a mandate, is the more sensible approach. Now, last but not least, let's round this out with our local wins. In St. Charles Parish, we supported an ordinance that reduced inspection fees in subdivision development by moving an engineer in the parish government, which will save developers an average of $3,000 per lot. So now you'll get to keep that extra change in your pocket. Moving on to Jefferson Parish, we worked with Councilwoman Jennifer Van Vranken and the engineering department on new guidelines for sidewalk regulations in Jefferson Parish that make more sense for building and clear up a lot of confusion that our builders were experiencing. Okay, and to round out the local level, in New Orleans, we worked with Councilwoman Cindy Nguyen on information sessions related to federal opportunity zones, which are investment vehicles meant to encourage growth in disadvantaged areas. So after one of the presentations, she comes up to me and asks, what kind of incentives could I offer in my district to attract builders instead of them going to other opportunity zones to build? And I said, well, our builders really like lower parking space requirements, expedited permitting, tax abatements, density bonuses, the list goes on. And she said, okay, I'm going to try to work on something. And after conversations with others, she decided to introduce an ordinance that would remove barriers to development in her district, including, wait for it, parking space reductions. Well, this is it for our episode. Thank you for sticking around and watching. As we dive into 2019, I'll continue to cover the topics that affect the home building industry in our area, at the state, and at the national level. And as always, if you have any questions about what's going on, please feel free to email me at evan@home-builders.org, or you can call me on our office line at 504-837-2700. Thank you again, and I'll see you soon.